Welcome to another episode of Beyond the Bell. Today I have with us two rock stars to my left, and to my right we have Brian McCourt, who is our 6 to 12 math and business supervisor. And to the left of me, to the far left, I have Liz O'Boyle from Parsippany Hills High School. She's a business teacher. And to the near left to me, I have Chrissy Russell, who is also a business teacher at Parsippany High School. I've invited them today to talk about the senior internship program, which we are very excited about. And they have done a fantastic job with this program. They have given, I guess you would say, presentations to the Board of Education at recent board meetings. But today I really wanted to get them on camera so they could really talk about the senior internship program, all the benefits of the senior internship program, and where we're going with it. So without any further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Liz and Chrissy. Tell us a little bit about the program.
Sure. We actually started the program a few years ago as a pilot with 25 students at each high school, and we have grown every year since then. Last year, we had a total of 110 or so students between the two schools participating in some really amazing placements.
Wow. Liz, how do you get the placements?
It's kind of a combination between the students networking. We encourage them. We let them know that they already have a network. They have parents, neighbors, aunts and uncles, friends that they can reach out to. And then Chrissy and I also spend a good deal of time reaching out to all of the businesses in our community and pitching our program at different events. And so it's really been a mix.
So how was the senior internship created? What was the brainchild behind it? Like, how did it start?
So we started a process of really revitalizing the business classes that we offered, because we wanted to make sure our business classes really reflected what was going on in the real world. So I think the unique thing about our business departments on both sides of town is we all come from industry, and we all still have close ties to industry. So in talking with our own contacts, we really remodeled our classes to better fit, what's going on in the real world. And as part of that, we really wanted to add this experiential piece where kids could go out and get real world.
So what's the process up to that point? Like, in other words, do kids start taking classes, or they take the business class, and what do you do? How do you prepare them? Like, when does this start? So can you give us like a little timeline?
Sure.
So we will be presenting to all the seniors next month about the program. They'll apply in November, December. They have to create a resume, a cover letter, things like that.
And you guys work with them on how to build the resume and the cover letter?
Yep, we do.
Oh, great.
We do.
Yep.
We workshop them and have different workshops on soft skills and, workshop etiquette and resumes and cover letters and all that.
Wow.
So by December, we'll have our initial list of all the applicants. And from there, this year, we're expanding the program again. We're taking 100 students from Par Hills and 100 from Par High.
And we started with how many?
25.
25. Wow.
So in 4 years, we've quadrupled.
Yeah, you guys have done a fantastic job, like I said earlier.
Thank you.
That is something else. Now, I noticed in the bulletin there's additional, I guess you say businesses that have gotten on board.
Yeah. So we have grown our partnerships every year. Wow. And I think once the companies or businesses have the experience working with our kids, they are so happy to welcome those kids back and really expand the offerings.
Wow.
And one of the things, Liz mentioned this before, that we work really hard on is building those relationships. So we are frequent members of Chamber of Commerce meetings. We are part of different networking groups. We reach out to students that we've had in class in the past to create those opportunities as well. So that's really a big focus and a big part of what we do.
Wow. Now, Brian, you've been here now almost a year. What do you have been out into the field, what do you think?
So I went on a site visit last year, towards the end of the school year, and Dr. Sarah was blown away.
Right.
The opportunity that the students have, also just to interact and have Miss O'Boyle, Miss Russell on a daily basis that are in the field, create these experiences for them. It was just the technology that they had available I was just blown away. And they're not going to get this experience in many other school districts. So
Right.
I think this program really separates us from everywhere else.
Yeah, I mean, and I'll say like over 100 businesses in the area. Can you give us what's been like? Have you seen the best experiences that you've seen so far? There's got to be some that you guys are saying this one really worked out well.
It's funny. We go in and visit these places and we walk out and we say, oh my gosh, that was amazing.
Yeah.
And then we go into the next one and we say the same exact thing.
I tell you, last year I had an opportunity to go out to one of the senior internships with actually the video on the go.
Yeah.
And we went to Booton.
Yeah.
And the business, I can't remember the name of it, but the business, they were building prosthetic limbs for animals. Mm-hmm. They had built a prosthetic limb for an elephant.
Yeah.
And when I went and I saw this, Joe was his name. He was the student. Yeah, Joe, and he was there working. And I was it was probably the highlight of my year because I had not seen anything like it. So do you still contract with that business itself? Are they still one of our senior internships?
So this past year, they moved locations, and unfortunately, during our internship period, they were in flux. So
Yeah.
they only moved to, I believe it's Montville. So they're close, and they
yeah.
want to participate in the future, but it didn't work out last
Can
year.
you kind of tell the audience like what that was? Like how did you get into that? How did that business find us, or did you find them?
That was,
We found them.
yeah. And we initiated a Zoom call, and the owner of the business was just so supportive. Somebody along his path had
Sure.
offered him an internship, and it had really impacted him, and he just wanted to do the same for others. And he is just an incredible guy who I think he had 3 different entrepreneurial things going
businesses going on. I remember that.
at
Yeah.
the same time, and just really impressive. And
I mean, just the amount. I mean, he was saying that he's been to a lot of different countries with those prosthetics, and an opportunity was there for our student to be on board full time, I believe. And
after the internship, he was hired for the summer, and was going to County College for something along the same product development, something along the same lines as the internship. So it was exciting because he was a student I had in my co-op class and really had no idea what he wanted to do, but knew he wanted to work with his hands. Wow. So it just became like a perfect experience.
yeah, I got to tell you, that was fantastic. I mean, prosthetic limbs for animals. It was unbelievable.
Yeah. And I think that's what is super exciting for us is those kids that get the offers to stay. Stay for the summer, come back and work during breaks, or come work with us full time.
Sure.
And we've had a lot of those.
I mean, that speaks to your leadership, but also our students, that they are, that polite, that engaged, that dedicated, that employers want them back. So really, you guys are doing a fantastic job.
I think the only complaint we've had is that the internship isn't long enough.
Yes.
They want them for longer.
Well,
They're
let's talk about that. Was that something that could be in our future?
So we are actually piloting a full year internship program
is that
this
right?
year. We are. And what we have decided to do, since we have a rotating bell schedule, it's tough when you're working with businesses to really carve out a specific amount of time. So we're working with full year interns in each of our buildings. We have kids on both sides of town that are working on branding and marketing of the overall schools.
Wow.
We have kids working with the athletic departments to run the social pages. And we have a student working in graphic design where if you need a poster, a flyer, a presentation, something made, you send her the request and she will create what you need.
Now, has any of our surrounding districts reach out to you to say, how are you guys doing this? How have you created it? It's something that we want to start to do. Have you heard from any supervisors?
So a couple of them have reached out in the last couple months, and I put them in direct contact with these 2 great teachers. I mean, I didn't want to put them on the spot, but they took a course last school year to continue to make sure that they have all of the correct credentials and up to date. You guys want to talk a little bit about that program?
Yeah.
Sure. That was a cooperative education certification, and it was really designed to make sure that our programs are all inclusive of every type of learner. We don't want to target just the higher end college bound student,
Sure.
but really we want everybody to have an opportunity like this. So the
So you
classes-
guys had to take classes then as well?
yes,
Wow.
yeah.
And what did those classes consist of? Like, what were they over the summer?
No, they were
We took them
last
during
school
the
year.
Last
They
school
were
year. Okay.
2 semesters. Rutgers offers them, so we did
Wow.
online classes to learn a lot of new techniques, just to lots of inclusion.
And have districts reached out to you?
So we are very much in touch with a lot of teachers, business teachers from other districts,
Sure.
with the different groups that we belong to. So there are discussions that happen all the time. Yeah.
Wow.
That we can learn from them and they can
Yeah.
learn from us. It's, if you think of Parsippany itself, our community is just filled with industry and
Sure.
businesses.
It's
and
a big-
lots of
it's a big place,
opportunities.
right.
So
I'm going to ask you this question and put you both on the spot. What was your best experience so far in all these years? What have you seen that really touched your heart?
So I loved the one we were talking about earlier, but I think this past year I had a student, again, from my co-op class, and from day one, she knew she wants to become a pilot, which was a very unique
Yeah, sure.
career objective. And we spend some time, part of the class is doing career research and finding educational opportunities and things like that. And then we were able to place her at an internship at Morristown Airport, Morristown Airport.
Wow.
And she learned airport management. So she learned absolutely everything to do with how to run an airport, including how much fuel each size plane gets, the runways, the markings, the Alpha Tango, whatever.
Right.
Absolutely everything about customs and things like that. And she couldn't be happier. She was so excited and again was hired to continue this internship over the summer with their college interns. And she was the only female in the class. And I
Is
thought
that
that was
right?
super
That
cool.
is awesome.
Yeah, so it was a great experience.
Is she actually looking to get her pilot license too?
Yeah, she's I think it's through Mercer County College has a
Yeah.
great aviation program down
No
there.
way.
That's where she was headed.
Well, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Good for that. And what about you, Chrissy?
So I have a couple. So it's definitely hard to narrow down. But a couple years ago, I had one of my students who actually was also a co-op student. She knew she did not want to continue her education, go to college right away. She wanted to take some time to really figure out what she wanted to do.
All right.
She wound up connecting through somebody that I knew with a high-end realtor working out of Morristown. So she got her hands into that business right away, and she was the right hand
Of that person.
Yes, of that person.
Wow.
So they were at different events and open houses, and she was following up with clients on email, on phone. So she was all over the place. So actually, when I went to observe her, they were getting ready to show 2 or 3 different houses in Mount Tabor, and it happened to be the day where the sky turned orange and there was smoke.
Oh, right.
Remember that day? I'll never forget that day. But I remember her saying,
Oh, from the wildfire.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I remember her saying to me that day, "This is the best experience I ever could have had. I love my mentor. She is somebody who I will continue to be in touch with. But I now know that I need to go to school." So I love this
look at
experience, and I love the idea of being a realtor, but it's not exactly what I thought it was going to be. I didn't realize it was a 24/7 job. So
Look at that.
in
So she
her
learned, yeah.
Exactly. In her
Unbelievable.
experience, she learned that, what she had kind of fantasized about being this amazing, maybe she should take a step back and go a different route.
Isn't that something? Wow. And what has been the best? So you've seen Brian.
Yeah, so I'm going to,
travels.
2 things. So one, I can't say enough about how important this opportunity is for students to take advantage of before they go to college, because they have this experience to figure out, do I want to be an engineer? Do I want to be in construction? Do I want to be an accountant? Do I want to be a marketer? And sometimes, like the student Chrissy just talked about, they have that opportunity now to figure out, I better change my plans.
Yeah.
Whereas I go to college, get a BA or BS, and then it's, what am I going to do? I have this degree. So
Yeah.
I think that's the win. But having the conversations with these two professionals, Chrissy and Liz are fantastic. They're always there for the kids. They're reaching out to these businesses. We have students that are in computer science, education, dentistry, physical therapy, healthcare, marketing, hospitality, business marketing, again, education, engineering, orthodontics, healthcare, aviation, graphic design, law, general business. It's everywhere.
Sky's the limit,
The sky is the limit. And, going back to your earlier question too, Dr. Sutter, if any schools reach out, they need to find two teachers who are as motivated as these two to go in and join every committee that's afforded to them, because
That's a good point.
they've made these, mentorships and program available for our students. So
And do you think that's because your background prior to becoming teachers has helped that much, like understanding the business world? You think you guys, that's why this is so successful, because you have had a background in business?
I think it definitely helps, but I think really understanding that, with what Brian was saying, this is such an amazing opportunity. This opportunity didn't exist when we were in school. My own kids who go to school in Morris County don't have this opportunity.
Sure.
And I wish that they did.
Yeah.
So I think understanding that is such an amazing, opportunity for them, and then using, the skills and the contacts that we've had from a previous life certainly helps.
I tell you, so if a business is out there, because when we go viral, guys, we people are going to be hitting this all the time. So when businesses are running to our door, how are they going to get in contact with us?
Sure.
What would you say? So they would contact.
Yeah, through our email, we would be the best contacts. So,
Okay.
Yeah, E.O. Boyle.
E.O. Boyle.
C. Russell.
Russell@pthsd.net.
And they could also hit you up,
they
Brian.
can reach out to
They
me,
need to.
DC McCourt,
DC McCourt.
or also, who's not with us today, Rachel Villanova, also participates.
One of the best, that Rachel Villanova.
Yeah.
You know that. That's great. Well, listen, I've taken up a lot of your time, and you guys have been fantastic in answering my questions. And we want to thank everybody out there, especially those businesses that are involved in this, right? Because without them, this doesn't happen. Without your dedication, this doesn't happen. Brian, without you overseeing it, it doesn't happen either. So I want to say thank you to all of you, and I really appreciate you coming out today. And I hope to see you again. And maybe next time you come, we can have a couple of students.
Absolutely.
That'd be great.
And then you guys can ask the questions to the students.
Yeah.
It's a plan.
And then I'll step away. All right. This ends another edition of Beyond the Bell. Thanks again.
Thanks for having us.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.